Hello, welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been on here in a while to sew anything, but I'm working on something special. Tell y'all about that later. But I am on the internet and I'm very much inspired by Blueprint DIY. I'll show you the actual video of it, or I'll link her actual video in the comments. I have a rodeo I'm about to go to, and I want to do something cute for the rodeo I'm going to go to. So I'm going to attempt to do this denim jacket. And I went to Goodwill already. I already got my denim jacket from there, and I also got my denim pants from there. And I'm going to see if I can replicate this jacket just like she did. I might make some things a little different, but wish me luck on my journey. So I'm going to give myself like 2 to 3 days to do this. She did hers time, and she did hers around 60 minutes. There's no way in holy moly that I'm going to do this. I'm still considered a newbie to this, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. But 60 minutes, no. But anyway, let's get to it. So to start out, I am going to cut my pants. So I need 4 panels that I'm going to turn into 2 panels. You want one side of the panels to be wider than the other. So when you make the ruffles, there is an unevenness to them. So it shows like you're having layers, if that makes any sense. But I'm cutting these pants. I don't need the whole pants, so I'm cutting just below the pocket because I want to keep the top part to turn into a maxi skirt later on. And you know, it's another project that I can do because I love to sew. Anyway, I'm going to go on and cut off the part that I don't need. I really don't think I'm going to need to take the crotch part of the pants. Don't want that, so I'm going to cut that out. Try to make sure that your pants are as straight as possible so you have a more precise cut. You don't want to mess up this project and then have to go to Goodwill and buy another pair of pants. So I'm using a ruler and some chalk to draw a straight line so I can be kind of guided to exactly where it is I need to cut, because I like to have a little bit more security to know that I'm cutting as straight as possible. But also, because you're going to turn this into ruffles, it doesn't have to be super straight. What you really want to focus on is you want to make sure that one side of the one of the 2 panels is wider than the other, but I'll show you that part later. So as demonstrated, the top panel is wider than the bottom panel, okay? And here I'm just cutting away any blemishes so everything is as straight as possible before I serge it, okay? So when you lay the top panel on top of the bottom panel, it looks like layered ruffles. Now on the serging topic, make sure you serge it together in the center of your 2 panels that are the same width together in the center first, then serge horizontally. I didn't serge my ends because that's where the end of the pants are, and I'm not about to put my serger through that, so I'm just showing you me serging it here. After you finish serging your panels together, then pull out your most toughest thread that you got. I pulled out the toughest thread that I have and put a base stitch at the top of each panel. Now you can go all the way through if you want, do 1 line, 2 lines, however you need to do it. I did mine in 2 lines. 1 half of the panel I did my base stitch. My sewing machine only goes to a 5 stitch length, and then I gave myself some room and finish sewing the other half. And then here I'm going to show you how I put in my ruffles. So I pull and then I shimmy down, pull, shimmy down. That way you're not just pulling one long time and then potentially break your thread. But also this is the toughest thread that I have, hence why it's purple and not the color of the matching colors of the jeans. And it works for demonstration purposes also. So in the video, I believe she cut fairly wide out and made like a really big U. I'm not necessarily going for the shoulder look, but I do like the ruffles, so I think I'm gonna come up and just replace this collar here and see how that comes out. Hopefully this comes out nice. But yeah, I really do like the collar idea, changing the collar. I'm sure I could probably even like just sew it maybe like directly on top of, but I don't want to do that. So we'll see how this goes, okay? And see how it fits after I cut it. Alright, I'm gonna see how this fits and I'll be back with the ruffles. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the neck cut off, or the collar cut off. Where is it? Here, so this is what it looks like with the collar cut off of it. I'm pretty impressed with how I cut it. I don't think I did too bad of a job. So it's still gonna like come over my shoulders. So let me go on and add the ruffles and see how this goes. Wait, hold on, I can kind of like give you like a preview of how it's maybe going to be. I feel like I need to add more ruffles so it can come from end to end. Uh-oh. Hold on. All right. Yeah, it goes to end fairly well. Of course, this is inside out, but I'm trying to not prick myself. But okay, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna sew this on. So first I need to attach this on here, make it as even as possible. And I'm going to do a zigzag stitch to sew these together. So I don't have to deal with them acting like separate pieces. So I'm going to pin it right now I'm going to pin them together, zigzag stitch them, and then, yeah. So I probably should have measured it. I already like sewed it down, but you can kind of see here, it's not gonna reach. Hold on, it's not gonna reach to the end. It's gonna reach here to the inside. So an easy fix that is gonna be bias tape. Hopefully I make it look nice, but I'm going to sew this down good side to wrong side, right side to right side to bad side. So when I flip it inside out like it was displayed in the video, this is what it's showing. So yeah, already made my first mistake. Okay, so far I'm liking it. This is how it looks on. This is actually pretty cute. I could see myself wearing this with like maybe a black shirt and denim pants, some nice cowboy boots. I just see myself wearing this. This is pretty cute. So I'm gonna iron it a little bit and I'm going to get this bias tape ready because I didn't measure it properly. Let me show you what I need to show you. So right here, I need to put bias tape here because it didn't stretch all the way through, but it doesn't seem as if you're going to really be able to notice. Maybe I could like sew that right there. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the collar, the original collar, and I seam ripped it open, and I'm going to iron this down until I have round edges. I'll show you, but I'm going to turn this into bias tape, and really not really much of this jacket collar is going to be waste. So let's wish me luck for the rest of it. So the end here that I will be sewing around is about, hold on, let's look at this. This is about 2.5 inches long. So that's how much of it I need. So I'm going to give myself about 3, maybe a little past 3. So I'm going to give myself about 8 centimeters of this fabric here. The reason why I'm going a little bit over is because I'm going to have to fold in the side that I decided to cut it on. So at this point here, I'm just marking everything. I'm going to cut it in the places that need to be cut, or in about 8 centimeters. And then I'm going to iron it down so it doesn't move while I try to sew it, but also pin it to also ensure that it does not move. But I'm making this a 4 folded bias tape instead of a 2 folded bias tape, if that makes any sense, because some bias tapes are only folded twice. We're going to fold this 4 times and then we're going to sew it on. When you sew it on, it's going to be potentially a little tricky because we are making this denim layer fairly thick. So if you don't think your sewing machine can handle it, if you need to put that bias tape on your jacket, use cotton. Don't even play with it. But this is a Juki, so it's a little sturdy. So it went through for me anyway. And this is my finished product. I hope you enjoy. I wanted you to see the back so you can thoroughly see the way it came out. And yeah, see you guys later.